Well, today I felt like I wanted to teach um, on angels, not just on angels, but on engaging with your angels, what the angels do, at least my experience in it, and how we can interact with our angels. So some of you may have already been walking in this, and that will be awesome because then we can share our experiences later on. But I just wanted to talk about kind of my experiences and what I feel like the importance is of doing that. Because for a long time, I did not understand the importance of talking to angels. I really didn't even know it was a thing. And what I realized is, the whole time I've been walking in the faith, people are saying, well, you need to talk to the demons and tell them to leave, and you need to, um, you can take authority over the demons and all of this. And so here I am talking to demons and not even talking to angels. And so I just, I didn't realize that that was at all something that you did as a Christian. Maybe I should have, but it didn't hit me, I think, because it was never taught on. I never, in my Christian walk, had anyone teach on angels at all, unless it was like, well, an angel visited Mary. Very few times did I hear about angels in the Bible. I now, after this, have looked through, and yeah, there are tons of angels all over the Bible. But people generally don't teach on that, at least not in my circles that I've been in. And so when I first heard someone teaching about how you should engage your angels because they're sitting around bored, I was like, what? I never thought of that. And so anyway, since then, I have done some, more study in the Bible about angels and all of that. And I realized that there are many, many instances where angels and interacting with angels was simply the norm. And it's so not part of our culture that it seems strange. Because today, at least in a lot of the Christian circles I've been around, or even in society for that matter, if you see an angel, it's like, what? You've seen an angel? Are you kidding me? You might be crazy. This is what people have acted like, and it is so out there compared to what it was in the Bible. In the Bible, I couldn't even believe when I was, do you guys know the story of Peter's angel? Yeah. It was just amazing to me when Peter had been broken out of prison, or jail anyway, by an angel, or angels, I'm not sure. But anyway, he was in jail, he was broken out by them. And then Peter was knocking on their door. And when this happened, the people were like, well, I saw Peter's angel out there, but oh my goodness, Peter's out of jail. And it was so funny because they weren't shocked about the angel. The angel that was at the gate. His angel was at the gate, and they're like, yeah, so Peter's angel's at the gate. And it was so strange to me. It was strange because I was like, they didn't even seem fazed by that, It was something where it was no big deal to have this interaction with an angel or even to see him. But today, people freak out about it. And I know the first time I saw an angel, I was like, whoa, what just happened? It was a huge deal to me. And it really affected me for a long time. I was quite young when I first saw an angel that was of the Lord, I should say. And it was a powerful experience for me. I saw it here in the spirit realm, and that was something that, what are you guys looking at? Are you seeing some angels? I've been praying for manifestations tonight. Well, that's exciting. Anyway, so when I first saw angels in the spirit realm, it was really shocking to me. And but then I continued to see more and more of them, and it became normal for me. But I still didn't interact with them. I didn't realize that you should. And so I would very constantly talk to God and ask Him to send angels to guard places, or send angels to comfort places or people or whatever. But I didn't really talk one-on-one with them. And so the first time I heard that there were angels that were assigned to us, personally assigned to us. There are also angels that are assigned to churches. There are angels that are assigned to many things. But anyway, the ones with me, I was like, okay, well, I want to experience my angel. So I was told, you should interact with them. Say, hey, what's up? What's your name? And so in the heavenly places, on my mountain, which is my place of authority, that God has seated me in a throne. You know, I have a throne on my mountain with a place of authority. You know, we're the royal priesthood. So we're seated there in the heavenly places. And when I was there, I saw that I had 2 angels that were there. And so I got to interact with one. And the other, I mean, I'd seen them a couple times, but I hadn't interacted. And I was like, okay, I really want to know who you are, you know? And so I interacted with my first one, and he said that he was Shemiel. And I saw what he did, and because what I think is important is to learn who your angels are, not just what their names are, but what do you do? You know, why are you here? What's your purpose? How do you function? Just like if I would get to know Linda, I'd want to know, what's your strength? What are your weaknesses? What can I trust you in? What's questionable? You know, this is something that I would wonder.
I'm talking about that.
And anyway, I would want to know, who is she? You know, not just what's her name. And so that's how I wanted to engage my angel, was to say, hey, so what do you do? Like, what do you want to be used for? Why are you in my life? And so I started discovering more about my angels. And the more I get to know them, the more I discover about them. But also, the more I've gotten to know my angels and the more I've actually given them to do, because I also didn't realize that many of them are just waiting for something to do. They're here, but you need to interact with them to assign them tasks. And so it's not like they're just servants, but they do serve God and serve us. And so if your job is to be a janitor and no one gives you a list of stuff to do, well, you'd probably find something to do, but you wouldn't be doing anything in the way that the person who hired you wanted it done, because you were never told what to do. And so the best thing to do is go, hey, go over to that person right now and help them. Or you can say, hey, I really need this right now. Can you please help make this happen? And there are many different angels that have different jobs. Some are simply for transformation. Some are for, for breakthrough. Some are for revelation. Some are for salvation. There are so many angels. And when I say salvation, it's not like they cause salvation, but they pave the way for it. And that's how angels are. They don't actually always do the thing, but they're there to pave the way for things to be done. And so anyway, so now I have way more angels who have come to help me in my life. And I happen to think it's because I have a big responsibility, because I've stepped up in responsibility as I've grown in the Lord, and as I've started walking in His ways, I've started stepping up in my responsibility, and I need more help. And so honestly, when we do that, we do need more help. We need more growing. We need more assistance. We need people. It's basically like having a whole lot of people helping you, except for they're just spiritual people. They're angels. And so, what I have done is every day, I would say every day, as long as I'm on point, because I am not always on point, but every day I try to talk to my angels and say, hey, I need you to do this. There are certain angels, you might know this, but there are certain angels that simply go with me as I'm driving, that they're like, I call them my car angels, but I'm sure they're not actual car angels. I don't interact with them much except for to ask them to protect and to guide and to make the way smooth and quick and whatever. I used to not do this, and I would often get into, when I say trouble, I've gotten into wrecks and stuff because I just wasn't, I wasn't having angels who were helping me. And so little things like that they can do. There are many other things that they can do, but you can always have them just help you in different areas. There's a specific angel who is assigned to this building, and he is an amazing angel. Okay, I actually think probably all of them are, but I really love this one. His name is Arias, and he's huge in the spirit realm here. He like goes higher than this building, and he's giant. He has this armor. Actually, if you guys saw on the Engaging Heaven Facebook page, the picture that I posted of the angel, I don't know if you saw it, but he kind of looks like that, except for huge. But anyway, he just has kind of these, I don't know, leg armor. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say leg armor? I don't know whoever wore leg armor, but it's kind of like Spartans or something. I don't know what they... Anyway, he has that sort of armor on, and he is very introverted. He doesn't like to talk, but he holds authority. That's who he is. He's a guy who, he has a lot of authority in the spirit realm here, and so the demonic are scared of him. He's just a big dude who really holds a lot of power. He's a protector. And he also has a lot to do with finances. And so he holds finances and releases finances as well. And so anyway, that's just one angel, but there are sure lots of angels who come and help around here at times, but he is the main one in charge of this place. Okay? But even though he's in charge of this place, he's not as in charge as those of us. Okay? So still, he needs to be talked to about, hey, you need to be on guard, that sort of thing. We need to always, every day, be engaging our angels. Just like Jesus prayed, give us this day our daily bread. There is so much that is a daily thing that we do. And I certainly didn't understand this at first. I kind of thought, okay, well, I told them to be with me, so they're obviously here helping me, even though I said it 2 months ago. Well, they might be with you, but they may not be doing anything because you haven't continued to engage them and tell them. And so every day, put them to work or ask them for help or whatever you might. I wouldn't be rude about it, because honestly, in heaven, there's a culture of honor that I feel like all of us need to carry. And when we don't, I think it's apparent. But there's just an honor. So I would be honorable toward angels or anyone in the heavenly places, but be respectful and honor them. Be thankful because they're here. They're choosing to be here and serve God instead of serving the enemy. And so it's a big deal. So anyway, I think it's important to do that. So for me, my oldest son is 9, And he knows, he started stepping up in responsibility in the heavenly places. He goes to court on his own, to deal with his junk and all of that. He sits on his throne. He declares things over his mountain. So he is at the place where he has to take responsibility for his angel. And I know he has at least one. I don't know about any more, but I can't do that for him. Now, my girls who are young and don't really get it, haven't stepped into responsibility in that way, I can talk to their angels and ask them to do things. They respond to me. But Soren's, he is in a place where, because of his responsibility, he needs to be doing that. And so if he doesn't, then they quit working. And so I've talked to him about it. So now every night he talks to them, or at least talks to God about them, and asks God to have them do things. He's still in that kind of place. But you can talk to God and ask him to do it. But I would say as you grow in responsibility, he gives you more responsibility. And so he gives you more of a, you can do it yourself, you are big. And so this is what I think is important, that we step into our responsibility and we start doing this, and we start talking to our angels and asking for more if we need them, send out ones we have for people who need it maybe, but bring them back. It's important to have them back with us when they're really assigned to us. But there are a lot that are with me that are for me to send out. And so even though I have a couple who are really by my side a lot, they're not for me to send out necessarily. There are plenty that I can send out. And if you're wondering and you have no idea if you have ones that you can send out, simply ask God to send some out for you. You can go to the court of angels and ask any of them to help. And so many of them are assigned to do things. Say, hey, any of you who are assigned to do this, please come and do this. Or, hey, this guy, I know he needs salvation, and just say, could any of you salvation angels please come and just pave the way, bring people alongside him that can preach to him, or whatever. You can ask angels to do these things for you. And that's a good way to do it, is by engaging in the court of angels. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. There are many testimonies that I have about angels, but I would just encourage you to get to know them and to start having a relationship. Last night I was asked by somebody, so what do I do if I haven't talked to my angels in 20 years? And I said, I'm sure they're going to be okay if you just talk to them. And so, honestly, they get excited to be engaged. And so I would say just engage them. It's okay to say, hey, I'm sorry I haven't been talking to you for a while. Or, hey, I'm sorry I've never talked to you before at all, but I want to get to know you and I want to, start working with you. So that's what I would recommend.